Hello, everyone. It's been a while. I was supposed to be doing more journaling and to like kind of help because I've been going to therapy. I've been learning about how to reform and reconfigure the way I think about things around myself, and how that makes me feel. And um, So I thought, I'm kind of lazy with the writing, so just do just a little bit more blogging, um, or vlogging, I guess, in this sense, because it's video, right? Um, um, what is it? Oh, and just so you know, I'm wearing my robe like this because I am wearing stuff that might be related to um, certain entities. So I do want to make sure that I separate myself from that these opinions are completely my own and is not attached or affiliated with any other people, organization, entity. Um, so, with that being said, hopefully I've done enough to cover myself, especially in this world. Um, there's you know, there's just a lot of shit going on. And I do say pardon my French because there is a lot of, I would say, there's goodness in people and then there is evil in this world. And sometimes I think people are conditioned to think that they are, I'm sure they are good people, but they are also shepherded or routed in a certain direction where ultimately that goodness is being misdirected. Um, I do see that a lot. Um, and it's rather sad to see because um, I think how society is built is to, the idea of making us hustle, leaner, meaner, in a sense, is kind of ascribing to our Darwinism and the light of the stronger always prevails. It's like a food chain society, but I would think that at our level we have evolved enough where we have good moral high grounds that we can ascribe to and follow through with, that we don't have to rely on these very archaic and animalistic way of thinking. But sometimes time and time again, I feel like I do get proven wrong about this, and it's very disheartening. It's very disheartening, which is why in my previous videos it was like, keep the people that you love close. um, I think building a sense of community and keeping that community close to you, helping them, but still being open to listening to other views and learning new things is important, right? Because we should be continuously learning. Not, I mean, we've been conditioned to continuously learn about money making tactics or um, ways to save ourselves, self preservation, and then there's one particular term I'm thinking about. But ultimately pursuing something that in this life is fairly transient and superficial. And I think a lot of the wrongs and a lot of the problems in our current society is, pursuing those things, which leads us very empty. I mean, it might lead us to feel very satisfied at the moment for a month or 2 months, but if you look, in the long run of things, does it keep you satisfied? Because the physical appearance, the physical things are, it's we're all gonna rot, and when we die, we're gonna go back into the ground. Our soul, if you believe in the higher spiritual forces, your soul goes to heaven. Much of the stuff that you accomplish here, you can't really take it back with you. So, and even in that sense, if that is the case, then why are we so obsessed with wealth, power? And I think it kind of speaks to human nature, or some people ascribe it to the devil. And those that, own a lot but give very little back, I would feel it's really leaning towards that, isn't it? Which is why living in the society and operating on a moral compass that aligns with both of what you work in and what you feel is right is so hard. This internal struggle is forever ungiving. It takes a very strong person to actually be able to stand up for the right call, to be able to make sacrifices and give up things that could be into something that is more shared overwhelmingly, and benefits everybody on the same level. I mean, I do wish we could give more grace to each other, that's for sure. Especially in the moments of, difficult times, to be compassionate and to be sensitive to things, and ultimately just being supportive. I don't know. And then hearing about, things that are constantly being unraveled, and how we're not being told the full truth is also very disheartening, because, there is this whole systematic approach to kind of putting a blindfold on people's eyes, keeping us pigeonholed into seeing only certain things that they want us to see, and even ascribing and kind of disrupting or abridging the truth that's out there. So thinking that we can't think for ourselves. I don't know. It's just really, because the thing is, once you feel like, I guess, once one person does one thing and another person sees like they can get away with it, another person does it, and then it becomes a systematic thing, right? And I do remember a book back then that I read partially. I didn't read the full book, unfortunately, but I might actually get that book again. It's about, cheating. And I don't mean in a way about relationships. I do mean, the top rich people, they find loopholes and ways to escape fair taxation. Some of the big industries, they like find ways to skirt the FDA's and environmental safety rail guards, just so they can make more money, and they are able to, get away with it because local or federal politicians, agencies that should be serving the people are kind of bought off. Which teaches, if the rich people can do it, the poor people can't do to it, right? So then people, they're like, everybody's done condoning cheating in one way or another. I don't know. I feel like in that case, what kind of society are we building? Where honesty is not necessarily rewarded, doing the right thing is not necessarily rewarded, and those that you know, are at a special privilege, or you know, or not, that can find ways to skirt the system. And are we okay with that? I see it, where people with special connections can pretty much get away with certain things, or they can use their positions to leverage for certain things. And I don't know, deep down, it's just really hard to. I don't know. I guess because most of my life, I worked really hard. I had no special connections whatsoever. Um, and I have been supported by people who are the same way. But then we have these people, other folks that are in the system that just could get away with a lot of things and not having to, I get it sometimes. And I hate when people tell me it's the fact of reality, but it doesn't have to be the reality. If you can stick by what stick by those principles, but then you do run the risk of making enemies of others, or losing support of certain folks. I don't know. It doesn't jive with me really well. And then, as you know, certain recent events also further disillusioned what I think about the world I'm in. I'm not saying I am in a mindset to, end my life. I already made peace with that, because I know that is a way. It's like my coping mechanism. This way for I guess I used it to run away from my problems. But running away from problems, it's hard, because your problems get passed down to the next person, right? So what to do? Even I don't have a solution for it, because these issues are so intertwined with the current system that we have, with the businesses or places that we have in our government, and to be honest, the subconscious of society, as far as the allowances that we make in compromising our principles and morality, is all bundled up in there. And I feel like the more I know about the world, the more I'm very disillusioned and disheartened by it all. I mean, we can only do what we can within our means and within our power. I so wish I could do more. And, fight against those that have more of the leverage and power, kind of leveling the playing field and revamping, I would say, even like taking down the system and creating a new one that's a little fairer. But people might call me an anarchist. Maybe they are right, But overall, I just want to put my thoughts out there. I just feel like this is a nice outlet. Granted, it's going to be on the internet forever. I just hope that somehow this kind of resonates with folks, and maybe it'll enlighten them or make them want to go out and search some more answers, to grapple with this a little bit more than just settling to what currently is, but working more towards the future of what could be and for a better future. Not materialistically, unfortunately. Material is transient, but something that's higher, more spiritual, that grants a healthier person both inside and outside. Um, that's all I have to say. Just feeling a little overwhelmed by these thoughts and emotions, and yeah, just wanted to put it out there. Well, forever, whatever it is, thank you for listening, and have a good day.